It's almost like standing on hallowed ground.
Usually what happens is when I press play, they sit and their eyes are wide and their chins hit the floor.
The fullness, the richness, natural, low end. It's pretty amazing, you know. Arm-tingling moments on you as you listen to it all.
It's always been a dream to come and record at Abbey Road. You just hear Abbey Road, the Beatles, Abbey Road, the Beatles. You just grow up hearing that. And then when you walk into the studio, it's like, wow, I'm actually here recording in Studio One with an orchestra and everyone's playing my music. Like, it's very, very, very surreal.
The whole kind of world of Abbey Road fits kind of perfectly into my kind of background. I was an orchestral musician growing up, seeing all the big studios, the film scores, the orchestras that come here. That's what I wanted to do.
I've been mastering here for 23 years of my 26 here, but I have the experience of 80-odd years of doing the job, which has been passed down and passed down by the people who train you.
Some of my favourite records have been through these doors. People like Radiohead, some of the Muse stuff was done here. Some of the people I get to work with are the people who worked on those records. Yeah, it's a dream to be here.
I quickly learned that part of my job was being there for a private gig every morning.
Abbey Road is such a special place, primarily due to the rooms. You know, the rooms were built with specific purposes in mind.
We're sat in Studio One now. It's a great sounding room. Historically, a lot of the film stuff has been recorded in here. If you listen to things like Jurassic Park or Harry Potter, you know, it's the sound of this room it is.
Throughout my studies, you know, listening to classical music CDs, most of them recorded in this building, always at the bottom of the credits list, it would always say, monitored on Bowers&Wilkins loudspeakers.
It's a special relationship that goes back some 40 years now, and definitely one of the most satisfying bits is knowing that we are a key part and an unknown part of that music creation process.
It's symbiosis. Bowers&Wilkins speakers have been in all the studios, in the rooms here, en masse.
The control room in Studio 2 has this punchier sound. It's the one everybody knows because of the Beatles recordings. Some of the equipment there is from those years, and the room didn't change at all.
The sound of the 800 series speakers in Abbey Road Studio 2 is synonymous with that entire studio and the sound of that studio. I think the two things are so harmonious, you couldn't have one without the other.
With regards to Bowers&Wilkins, what you put into the speakers is what comes out, you know. Solo instruments, solo violins, solo cellos, they sound like they would do if you were standing next to them out in the live room.
We were recording the second Fantastic Beasts film, and that was a real pinch-me moment, standing in the control room in front of the speakers and hearing those famous keys go down. It was, yeah, that was really something, that was.
Speakers in mastering rooms need to be very truthful. You wouldn't want to colour the sound before we start to weave our spell with it.
If we didn't have that clarity and that transparency, it would be basically impossible to know what's actually going on sound-wise.
They can't be over-flattering, and they're not. They show me straight away where the trouble spots are, if any. They're like an uncle and auntie you can really trust. You can ask them questions that you wouldn't ask your mum and dad. So they're still a little bit groovy.
When I'm mastering, I'm not necessarily listening to the music, I'm listening to the noise it makes. So imagine you're at the cinema and the film is over there. What the 800Ds allow you to do is put the 3D glasses on. You hear the space between the bass guitarist and the drummer, because there's an amount of air between them. You could hear how high the room is. Height, space, three-dimensional.
Super made up that all the guys at Abbey Road really like the way that we've made the speakers sound. It's amazing. It's really great that you think in a similar way. Yeah, simple as that. It's very, yeah, gives you a lot of pride. Yeah.
No one rests on their laurels, right? So we produced a range last time around that was very positively regarded by everybody. And the first thing we did when looking at the new one was basically tear all that up.
We're looking forward to trialling the D4s, the new range in Studio 2. The control room's had a number of different incarnations in my 25 years here.
The guys at Abbey Road know that they can rely on us to deliver a neutral and balanced audio performance. And it's a relationship that's just grown in strength and strength over the years.
A lot of mastering is putting your client at ease. When he comes into my room, your client has to be able to hear what he's expecting to hear, how they've heard it elsewhere. Then they think, oh, right, I feel a bit more at ease about everything now. And people will relax.
It's amazing to kind of have them come in and say, oh, they've never heard it sounds so good. Yeah, when you're doing a playback in this room, you know, turn the lights down, listen loud, and it's a kind of unique experience for anyone who's joining in.